Okay, so this video is an introduction to photosynthesis, which is one of two processes that we're talking about during this unit. Have you ever wondered why plants are so important in our environment? They do three essential things that are relevant to this particular unit. The first thing that plants do is they provide oxygen. Your body has to have oxygen. Your brain uses it, your heart uses it, your muscles use it. You have to have it, and it comes from this guy. All right. The second thing that plants do is they produce glucose. Glucose is something else that your body has to have, because what your body does with glucose is it converts it into energy. You have to have energy for everything that you do. When you walk, when you think, when you breathe, all of that requires energy, and energy comes from glucose. Glucose is actually a form of sugar, and it's all bound up in the plant. So when you look at a plant, it's got all these cell walls. They're made of cellulose. Cellulose contains glucose. Everything in the plant contains glucose, and the plant also breaks down glucose for energy. So plants create oxygen, and they create glucose. The third thing that plants do that's really important is they act like little filters, little environmental filters. They remove carbon dioxide from the air so that it's not toxic to us. Without plants, the carbon dioxide would build up in our atmosphere and it would be uninhabitable. So our carbon dioxide comes from us. When we breathe out, when animals die, they release carbon dioxide into the air. Cars, breakdown of fossil fuels, factories, they all release carbon dioxide into the air, and the plants actually pull that carbon dioxide out of the air and they use it to create the two good things, the oxygen and the glucose. All right, so those are the three things that plants do for our environment, and they do it in a process called photosynthesis. So photosynthesis is a process by which plants take that carbon dioxide and water, all right, and they convert those two things into glucose and oxygen. And the way that plants do this is they use energy from sunlight. That's why we have to have plants in the sun, because they take that sunlight energy and they trap it, and they use it to break down the water, break down the carbon dioxide, take all those atoms, put them back together to form glucose and oxygen. Where do you think this happens in the plant? Well, you notice the plant's green. The plant is green from, it's a pigment called chlorophyll, and chlorophyll traps sunlight. And that chlorophyll is found in the chloroplast. So the chloroplast of the plant cell is where this process happens. It traps sunlight, it captures carbon dioxide, it captures water, it breaks them down, it uses all of those different atoms, puts them back together to create glucose and oxygen. And that in a nutshell is photosynthesis.